Just this once. He'll never know. Whatever was left of my resistance collapsed. I leaned back, let my full weight settle into Lucas's burning palm. His breathing went ragged. His eyes went dark, and his finger hooked into the edge of my underwear. The brakes let out a long, tired squeal, and the spell inside the car snapped. My back went cold with sweat. Everything else was on fire. Lucas didn't pull his hand back. He used the brake as cover, dragged it up one more time. Slow, pressing, deliberate. That one drag made me feel full, like he was still inside me, like I was going to shatter.
There's a gas station up ahead. Let's stop so we can use the vestroom. Olivia, why are you so flushed? Are you feeling car sick, honey?
I'm fine. Just stuffy in here. Feeling a little off.
Stunky or worked up.
Richard didn't catch the meaning. He just snapped at Lucas for being rude. But I understood exactly what he was saying. My body was still humming, still strung tight, still aching for a release it never got. Richard was still telling me with concern that I could just go out and get some fresh air. I exhaled. With Richard watching, Lucas wouldn't dare pull anything. I felt his hand withdraw from between my thighs. The sudden emptiness made me shudder. I should have felt safe. Instead, my legs shook worse. He'd left me on the edge. Somehow I dragged myself off his lap. I staggered out of the car on wobbly knees and practically ran for the gas station bathroom. The lock clicked behind me, and I collapsed against the door, gasping. I looked down. My thin cotton underwear was drenched through. My hand was shaking as I pushed it up under my skirt, up the inside of my thigh, to the heat of me, already soaked. The second I closed my eyes, I was back at that bathroom sink 2 weeks ago, voice from 30 seconds ago, that low, rough threat in my ear. I stopped fighting. I let myself go. Those weren't my fingers between my legs. They were his. And what I was grinding down on wasn't my hand at all.
Lucas.
It was him, young, thick, hard enough to hurt, pushing into me. The toilet was yellowed with age, and the whole stall reeked of stale piss. But I was too far gone to care. I sank down onto it, completely boneless. I'd bitten a perfect imprint of my own teeth into the back of my hand. My thighs wouldn't stop twitching. My fingers were slick, coated in me. Eyes shut. All I could see was the size of him 2 weeks ago, straining through that thin gray cotton. I imagined his heat. I imagined those hands, the same hands that had just been tracing my thighs, holding me down, opening me up. I was grinding against my own fingers shamelessly now, and my brain was static. Lucas's breath in my ear, the aggressive, masculine smell of him, Richard's oblivious, worried eyes watching me in the rearview mirror. All of it was fuel. It hit fast, hit hard. My heart was slamming against my ribs. I couldn't breathe. I was almost there. Outside the bathroom, the sun was bleaching the pavement white. Everything was silent, not even wind, just the far-off scuff of Richard's footsteps on gravel. Inside the stall, the air was thick and sour. My sundress was stuck to my back with sweat. And then it hit. Everything I'd been holding back ripped through me at once. I clawed at the filthy yellow door, curled my toes into the concrete, and seized up from head to toe. I couldn't keep it in. A short, sweet, broken cry tore out between my teeth. The gas station was dead silent, just heat and concrete. And the sound that had just come out of my mouth, that sound was filth. I clapped a hand over my mouth and felt my own wetness smear across my lips. I slumped back against the wall. The aftershocks wouldn't stop. My heart was slamming hard enough to split my chest open. I had just come, in a public restroom, 30 feet from my husband, fantasizing about his son. The guilt and the pleasure hit me at once. I burned from the inside out. My legs barely worked. Liquid was sliding down the inside of my thigh. Somehow I made it to the sink and turned the cold tap on full blast.
You're a cunt, and you enjoy it.
The woman in the mirror was flushed pink. Her eyes couldn't focus. She looked like a cheap whore somebody had dragged off the highway. I should have been disgusted with myself. But somewhere underneath the shame, there was something that felt a lot like excitement, and I couldn't tell them apart anymore. My body had won. I didn't have the willpower left to care. Honestly, I was already thinking about getting back in that car. About what he might do to me next. I wanted that feeling again. I splashed cold water on my face, trying to drown the shame. But the woman in the mirror stared right at me and said... When I stepped back outside, Richard was crouched by the tires, checking the pressure. He looked up, concern all over his face, and Lucas was slouched against the far side of the car, an unlit cigarette dangling from his mouth. He glanced at me, then at the bathroom door behind me. Already quiet again. My face caught fire. I couldn't meet his eyes. I'd come with his name in my mouth. My knees buckled. I'd checked myself in the mirror 3 times before walking out. It didn't matter.
Olivia, what took you so long? I thought I heard you calling out in there. Are you okay, sweetheart?
I think it's just car sickness.
My eyes kept going to my skirt, looking for a stain, something he'd catch. My eyes burned. I bit the inside of my cheek and kept my head down. My face burned hotter. I still couldn't look at him. Between Lucas's mockery and the aftermath of what I'd just done, I genuinely did look like a woman about to faint. Richard believed every word. He even offered to run into the mini-mart for motion sickness pills. He'd seen some on the shelf.
What a coincidence. Same here.
I told him no. That's when Lucas stepped in, voice low, amused. I looked up. He was staring at me straight on, hips squared forward, practically putting himself on display. The front of his jeans had a damp patch, darker than the rest. It could have passed for sweat. It wasn't sweat. That wasn't sweat. That was him. From earlier, when I'd been grinding on him through my skirt. I'd made him leak through his jeans. My pupils blew wide open. He'd done the same thing I'd done, just on the other side of that wall. That single thought set me on fire all over again. Richard had no idea what we were really talking about. He just assumed his wife and his son were both a little carsick. Sweet.
Must be the rough road.
Normal. Nothing to worry about.
Get in. It's only getting bumpier from here.
Richard, how about I drive the rest of the way? You can rest for a bit.
Sweetheart, you're the one who needs to rest. It's all gravel from here. I'm not letting my sick wife drive that. If it gets too rough, just have Lucas hold on to you.
So I got back in. This time Lucas didn't wait for Richard to say anything. He pulled me straight into his lap, bold as brass.
Bad road. Hold tight.
That's my boy. Looking out for your mom.